Oh, snap. We're live. Oh my God, it's happening. It's
We made
happening.
it happen, my man. How are you? How are you?
I am really good. What's going on with you, Manu?
I'm gonna spare all of our friends that may tune into this now or later the dramas of today and say we're here, all is well, that ends well, and it's a good day after all. So yeah, man. How about you?
I'm good. I'm actually house sitting a farm right now. So, my background's different because I'm coming to you from the side of a barn right now.
Yo, that's a dope background. It almost looks like you intentionally built something with reclaimed wood. You know how you fancy guys like to do that.
This is literally the siding of the house, and it's faded where the overhang of the roof ends with the shade line. So there ain't nothing fancy about this.
That's hilarious. That we call that natural. I forget the word. What's the word when something like metal starts to turn brownish blue?
Patina.
A patina. It's got a beautiful patina on it. You're like a vintage Rolex right there. Look at
Dude, I
that.
love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm in this. I'm house sitting right now, so I'm taking care of the dogs and the chickens. I used to house sit this farm, and there were llamas, but there's no more llamas now. So it's just been me cleaning up slash piles and having huge fires and all of that. But it's been ridiculous.
Oh, one of those controlled fires. Um,
Yeah. So what happens is, like, I brought down some trees in the last couple of days, and then my father has been clearing stuff all summer long. And yeah, so I had all the burn piles. And when they went on holidays, I decided that I would get everything cleaned up. I got a pressure washer today and started cleaning walkways. I've been busy.
nice. And now our friends get to see, the behind the scenes, the moisturizing before the black gloves go on.
Dude, I love it. I
All
love
that stuff.
it.
The other day, me and the family, we took a bit of a road trip somewhere, and we noticed like this huge smoke cloud in the distance, and we were kind of in some farmland, and I thought maybe it's a controlled fire. We got closer, and it was bigger and bigger, and I had never seen such a large pile intentionally lit on fire from up close. Because as we got closer, and one thing that really blew me away was, dude, the color of the flames in person of those huge stacks.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's the brightest orange, golden, red thing I've ever seen.
It's really cool, man. My wife has a wonderful Polaroid of us on our property of me doing the first burn pile. And it's easily 40 feet tall. And I'm there like this. And I look like
Bro,
in front of this pile with my hard hat on.
it's humbling. It's like, wow, that's terrifying. What's up to our
Let's
friends? We got Mike. Oh, sorry. I think you were
yeah,
just about
let's
to jump in there.
no, so this is your and mine's favorite part of doing lives is the chat.
It
I
is.
love the chat. So let's say what's up to all the people in the vat.
Let's
Mike
do it.
Vines. Mike Vines is a West Coaster, old fisherman. He's always hanging out in my morning show. Appreciate you being here.
What up, Mike?
We got Pullin' Fire, who won a wicked giveaway, won a metal Red Hulk retro giveaway on Binder Night the other night. And
Sweet. Congrats. And what up?
yeah, that was his first win too. That was his first ever giveaway win. And that's a huge one. Like, you remember your first one.
Yeah. And that's a PMG you're describing, right?
It wasn't a PMG. So it's a card that looks like the original 95 metal set. It looks like a base card from it.
Okay, got you. Oh, that's what you meant. Because when you said retro, it just threw me for a loop. Because right now, so many people are talking about the new Avenger set or what have you, and they
Yeah.
have the retro PMG. So that's what the reference in my head connected. But thank you for the clarification there.
Yeah, we got Lost. What's going on? Appreciate you joining us. We got
Hello,
Donnie
my friend. How are
building.
you?
Donnie
Donnie boy,
boy.
what up?
You're friends with Donnie. Donnie's a great one, eh?
Yeah,
What?
Donnie's my guy, man. Donnie actually sent me something that I don't know if anyone has seen. I'm gonna show it real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, please do. I'm going to keep running through the chat here.
Yeah,
VP
please.
Trading Cards. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining. What are you guys up to this Thursday night? Drop us some comments here. We got the Rider in the building. We got
VP,
Paul's
what up? Ryder, what up?
Dude, Paul's been in the chats a lot lately. Appreciate you being here. Paul, I started your X23 sketch. So you and me had a trade for a sketch. I have your sketch halfway done. It's a different one too. It's like way different than the stuff I normally do. I'm looking forward to showing you. We got Snicked in the building. RMS collects. What's going on?
RMS, what's going on, my man? How are you, Pauls? What up, Stick? What up?
We got OCD Marvel sketch cards. Also
Wait,
known
is that Matt
Matt,
Fuller?
Matt Fuller in the
Matt, let me tell you,
building.
Matt. I gotta say, well, Matt, I hope you're still here because I'm directing this directly at you. Hello, how are you? And man, I know you're busy. I know you're very busy, like extremely busy. Because you're a busy man. But I want you to listen to the voice notes that I sent you in your DM 5 weeks ago. Thank you. I love you. And they're not important or anything. It was just like, oh, I want him to know what happened after the other thing that he and I were in the DM about. I was like, I want him to know. And then, he just disappeared being busy and stuff, which I respect. I get it.
Sometimes I message Matt like the longest like novel of a message, and I get a thumbs up back, or I get a like.
Listen, and you know what's interesting about you saying that, and this is funny, it's because like, hold on, for real, what channel? Insta? Now I feel awful. Matt, I know that I'm just giving you a hard time. Yes, it was on Instagram, but even when you look at that DM, you'll see the message you sent me prior, and you told me what you were doing, so I knew you were busy. And then I just bombarded you with a bunch more. I'm just giving you a hard time because I don't often get a chance to do that. And I like you, so I give you a hard time because, you're my guy. So back to what you were saying, like the thumbs up thing, right? Depending on what sort of relationship you have with someone, it can easily mean like, all right, cool, dude, fuck off. Like it can literally
100%.
mean that. But the
100%.
funny thing, and sometimes it's just, someone like Matt giving you a genuine thumbs up because that's how he's, he's not seeing it from that. He's not thinking of it that way. He's thinking of it the positive way, I would assume. But it's like how our friends in Canada, you included, like to say buddy. And here in the States, when someone says, okay, buddy, that's the same as the thumbs up. That's a fuck you, little guy.
It's sarcastic.
Oh, yeah. Buddy is talking down to someone. It's like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
And it, obviously you don't get tonality or whatever through a text message, but I always have to remember, oh no, he not you, just whoever, because I talk to a lot of people in Canada. Oh, he's in Canada. He means buddy in the polite way.
Yeah. And I always text whenever I'm messaging with people, even people I don't know, I always throw out the buddies there. And, I'm always getting called out on weird stuff. The metric system. I recently have been given some measurements for stuff. And people are like, what are you talking about? Like, you want to see something funny? Watch a Canadian go to the grocery store in America and try to get sandwich meat. You end up with like 7 pounds of like roast meat.
Hilarious, bro.
Like no conversion. I don't know how many freedoms per eagle it works out to for sandwich meat, but I am lost in a supermarket.
How many freedoms per eagle? What the That's fucking hilarious. What the hell? That's funny. You guys in Canada got inside jokes about United States. I love that. That's funny.
There's this meme that said that went around for quite a while.
I'm sweating my ass off right now, by the way. Yeah.
There was this meme that went around for a while, and it was like, oh my God, there's a huge pileup, and they should have been doing 4 washing machine distances between one another. And it says below, the Americans will do measure in anything except the metric system. It was so funny.
That is quality. All right. So we left off at OCD. Interglobal. Gus, my man, what's going on? Hey, I'll tell you later. It's a sales related thing. But, I told you one of the comps on the other thing. Now there's a new comp on it and still doing well. So that's a great thing. So hello. Thank you for being with us. JDM, how are you? Matt McBrien, my buddy Matt, the Gambit collector, who pulled an insane sketch today out of MM22.
Pulled a Fred Ian sketch of Spider-Gwen.
Congrats. That is awesome. So what is this? This is now the EPAC rush happening then.
Yeah, EPAC came out today for MM22, and the site was running a little slow today. I think there was a little bit of traffic on it.
I mean, you guys were all there clogging that thing up, so
right.
It makes sense. You waited a long time for it, so I'd imagine it's exciting that it's now up, and Upper Deck gets to have some of their last hurrahs, and why not?
Yeah, totally. It was a long wait for people. I personally am one of those losers that finished MM22 when it first came out. Like, I got my base set.
Gotcha.
I got all the stuff that I was looking for out of it for the most part. I got all the inserts and stuff when it came out. And now that it's out, I'm just kind of looking for the last couple of things. But I know there's a lot of people that are super excited about it and some cool achievements. And I saw some stuff about it today.
Yeah,
people are
I
critical.
didn't see anything yet, but I know it's happening. Oh, Justin sent me a couple of things. Yeah, Justin, and I'm going to be hush-hush about it, but that's why I know that it happened, because Justin was excited about something. And really quickly, Matt McBrien, I don't know if I ever noticed this before, but I noticed this now, and hello again. But your last name is spelled McBrien, Brien. I've never seen that spelling. Is that just because I haven't paid enough attention, or are you unique in that? Because that's very cool. Vintage Lord, what's going on, my man? Brittany, what's up? Oh, Brittany, what's going on? How are you doing? What cards are you collecting these days?
There's so many fun people in the chat here today.
Yeah, Jeremiah's with us. What up?
All the thumbs up emojis in the chat too. I can't look at them the same way anymore after this.
That's so funny. Oh, OCD. Matt Fuller says, my thumbs up is also to acknowledge I saw it. To my kids, it's passive aggressive. That makes sense. And I'm a bit of a child, so that's why I take it that way. That would make sense. But yeah, the thumbs up is freaking hilarious. Oh, really quickly, I said that Donnie Boy McCoy, our good friend, this is a while ago now, sent me something. He had something, he thought of me, he showed it to me, and I said, bro, that's amazing. I've never seen that. And he said, I want to send it to you. I said, dude, no way. And he did send it to me. So there was a convention called Phoenix Con 2, which I'm unfamiliar with. And their pass, if you will, was this custom card. I think it's actually, I don't remember if it's 2 cards. It didn't open it. It's either 1 card or 2, front and back, but it might be 2. And this was their pass. It was a Spawn image.
I'm gonna make you
okay, for sure. And so this is the pass. This is what the lanyard was connected to, which I still have, but I put the lanyard separate in a little baggie because this goes in its own separate baggie. And that's the cover of Spawn number 8. Obviously, a McFarlane cover of McFarlane homaging McFarlane, because that's the cover of Spider-Man number 13, homaged into this. What am I talking about? Spider-Man 13 is the homage of Spider-Man number 1. So it's an homage of an homage of an homage, and it's very popular. And then this is the image on the back, Angela and Spawn. And this is also the cover of a book. Is this book called Angela and Spawn? I just don't remember. But I thought this was incredible, very thoughtful, very unique. I had never seen it, didn't know it existed. And I love that I have it. So Donnie Boy McCoy, my man.
Dude, the best.
Thank yous. That's
on the back of that card. I have to say, I love the font, the Angelina font.
Oh, Angela. Yeah, that's how the Angela trade dress is done on the comic books. Yeah.
Dude, that's some like Los Angeles hand style right there. I really
love. Yeah, good call out. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I dig that. What have you been up to, my friend? There's been so much going on since you were last on the channel. I think the last time that you were on, we did a podcast together, which feels like a lifetime ago now.
Dude, it was a long time ago.
So we won't even attempt to catch up on all of the stuff that has happened.
No.
But, you know, there's been a lot of interesting things that have been happening in the comic world. When we left off our conversation, we had talked about me starting to character collect Sabretooth covers in 9.6s.
Yes.
So a lot of stuff has happened since then, part of which is that I managed to assemble this collection and have it in my possession. And it's been a really interesting journey of getting those. You have started a partnership in a way, or I should say maybe not a partnership, but you have started a consulting position with PSA. Is that fair to say, or how do you want to word it?
Well, I mean, that's fair to say, but when you use the word consulting, which I have, but I always preface it with something, that implies that I'm being paid for something. I'm doing this out of my own desires. Right. You know, obviously it's mutually beneficial. And I love the fact that we have that relationship, we have that conversation, that rapport, you know, and we did have a meeting, just a Zoom call about a week ago now with a couple of new updates and a couple of new questions. And I love to be involved in that way. But no, you know, oftentimes people say, oh, this is guys getting paid by PSA to say this stuff. No, in fact, not. I do not work for anyone but myself. Yep. I have my own opinions and my opinions only, and that's intentional. I choose not to accept money from certain companies, because if at any time there's something critical I have to say about anybody, I choose to remain independently critical. Like, I have to be able to provide that opinion to maintain the integrity. I mean, it's my choice and desire to do so. I want to provide value for the community, but that's the integrity of my brand, which at the end of the day is what is of most significance and importance to me. And so my brand is not controlled, owned, operated by anybody but myself, and I wanted to represent me. And so, yes, in the sense that they ask me a question, I provide them my opinion. Well, that's a consultation, right? But from my previous life of being a professional consultant, that's not how we engage with one another. There's no paperwork in place. Right. There's just a really friendly, trusting relationship that I'm honored to be a part of. And it's, you know, there's other members of the community that were there as well. Some are no longer, but, you know, like myself, Neo, Swag, we've got a good relationship, and we're enjoying it.
Competition in the graded book market is a necessity right now.
100%, 1,000,000%.
It is, I cannot imagine there being one company that represents 99% of the card grading. So in
Yeah.
the comic book world, I mean, I don't understand how that could be a thing. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
catch up going on here.
This is long overdue for CGC to have somebody to keep them honest, to keep them feeling the pressure of potentially losing some customers or some market share, and make them have to deserve, earn, and fight for our business. They've become complacent in their position. We've become a victim of their success. They know that the books are going to keep coming because we've got nowhere else to send them. They know all the pricing services just keep quoting CGC instead of any other company as if they are the only show in town, which for all intents and purposes, when you look at the percentage, they are the only show in town. And that needs to change, right? Because in that, they've become complacent, lazy, take for granted the fact that they exist because of the community, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And they're not serving us the way that their intentions were 20 years ago, some odd years ago, whenever they first came to be. And it's been a slow degradation of their integrity. I don't know if that's the word. I just used it because it sounded fancy. But they're more of this like novelty entity now, where it's like about this gimmicky bullshit and signature series events, which are great. But let's not forget that you need to fucking grade a book flat and accurately, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Right. And they've lost that because there's money coming in from other areas. And, the complaints from the community do make change, but they make small changes at a time. But when you have a well collateralized component coming to the market, threatening their position, that should make them really make some changes. And that's really what the benefit of all this is. Whether you like PSA, whether you like CGC, doesn't matter whose slab, whose label, which company, what brand, it doesn't matter. You should want PSA to come. You should want PSA to apply pressure. You should want them to succeed, because
100%.
that will improve the overall third-party grading economy. And that's what's the most important thing here.
And also breaks away for the point where there could be a third one to get in. Once somebody else enters the market, you start opening up the floodgates for there to be some real competition in the market. And you're absolutely right. Welcoming that as a competitor and for options as consumers, also to keep one another honest, is a brilliant point. It's an absolutely brilliant point.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about it, and of course, I won't bog this down with conversations of anything that isn't productive. But there are some setbacks, and the setbacks aren't in from the side of PSA. It's there are certain obstacles being put in their way as companies don't want them to enter the market, right? So there's a lawsuit that CBCS has presented, not to PSA, but to certain employees, that an employee and an individual that they suspected might become an employee of PSA, but they've put a block in front of them saying, hey, we're now trying to position your non-disclosure agreement as a non-compete. They're not one and the same, but they're trying to say that they might be. Yeah. And they've hit them with this injunction, I think is the word. And one of the individuals has accepted, the other is fighting. And, for like the next year, they're not allowed to even like do anything with PSA. And if they can prove that some of the trade secrets went over there, that's bad news, so on and so forth. But all of that has to go through the court. They have to prove that things are actually trade secrets. They have to prove that there was malicious intent. They have to prove that any of that information was communicated at all to anyone at PSA. And quite frankly, some of that information PSA is not fucking interested in. Like, it's not part of their game plan. So we'll see how that goes.
I've been living in this funny kind of limbo zone where I've gotten into comics in the last little while for character collecting. There's been issues of them that I've just been really attached to and I enjoy. I have them graded, so it's not like I'm flipping through them. But Donnie recently sent me a huge box of comics ungraded so that I could flip through and enjoy them, because Donnie is such a good guy.
He is.
How is Manu storing his ungraded books? Are these in a milk carton under the bed? Are these in a bulletproof case with like a Tesla case? What's going on? Let us know.
Well, I got a really bad example of how I'm storing a book today, but I'm going to show you in a second. So this is one that just came in today. This is a beautiful 9.8 candidate of a Newstand 316. It's a gorgeous copy. The reason it's not bagged and boarded, it's not pressed or anything. It's not prepared to get graded. It's not pressed yet. But the reason it's not bagged and boarded is because it just came in today. So it gets a flip through to identify, make sure there's nothing wrong on the interior. I write my notes separate. And then what this is going to go into, you have to pardon me for a second. I don't have a safe way to put this away without
No.
Second.
Do you.
And then what this is going to ultimately go into, I'll show you in a second. Let's put this here. Let's grab these and let's come back and have a seat. So, because my personal collection, majority of my personal collection is not graded. I don't grade for PC. Sometimes I do, but I discussed this last night. We did a really fun stream last night on Comic Journey's channel, 4-hour stream, really, really fun stream. And we talked a lot about, you know, the reasons that I grade. There are multiple reasons that I might grade, but my reasons for grading are not some that you commonly hear from a lot of collectors. Like they say, to protect the book. That's not my reason for grading. The case actually doesn't protect the book. There are downsides to the case. It's a false sense of security. There are risks. The books can get damaged just by moving around. Shipping is very dangerous, and plus you have to still control the climate, and they're not UV reflective. You have to worry about light. So you can't just assume just because you put it in this encapsulation that it's safe now. No, you still have to know how to treat that encapsulation. So it's not a mindless activity. And so I don't do it for that reason. And then other people say, hey, I grade my books to display them. I don't do that either. I mean, I have a lot of books that are out and I enjoy them, but they're out because I'm engaging with them, right? Their final destination is going to be in a PC box. And then once a year or so, I might visit with them, but I don't frame them. I don't put them on walls. So my purpose is not to display. I'll talk later about what my grading purposes are because I do grade and it is important. But I just showed you the raw 316 that hasn't been bagged and boarded yet. The other day, another one came in, also a 316 Newstand high grade. This is a 9.6 candidate, not a 9.8, however. But then its final stay, if you will, is in a E. Gerber Mylar. That's what this bag is. It's a really stiff plastic bag. It's an E. Gerber Mylar. It's called a Mylite 2. And then the board is an E. Gerber fullback. Now, the reason it's like this brown craft paper, it's white on the front, is because E. Gerber, this is unfortunate. This is their fullback. This is their premier quality bag and board. You can see there's no bend. All right. This is like Dave Portnoy's pizza, no flop. All right. This is a one bite. Everyone knows the rules. This is the best board you could buy. But this board here, and one beautiful thing about pairing a Mylite with an E. Gerber, you see how the book is beautifully framed around the edges? It's not like one of those silly, baggy, loose bags and boards where the book falls down and flops around under the board, right? And you're flipping through a short box, just toss it to the bottom, damaging the book, even though it's in a bag and board. This is framed and protected. You're not going to nudge it. It's a very stiff board. But what I was saying is E. Gerber, during the pandemic, had supply chain issues, and they had to maybe switch manufacturers or maybe, do something. But the board itself is actually a few mils thinner now, which is not great, right? The price is still the same, if not more expensive, but the board is actually not as thick as it once was. Still the best in the business, in my opinion. I mean, my favorite. There are other things that compete with this, but if it's on par with this, you're doing great. But this is how my PC stuff is stored. I have books worth many thousands of dollars that are stored just like this, right? And when the day comes to move them onto a new collector, chances are it's going to be graded so that my assessment can be validated by an authority. Hopefully we get a real one because we don't have one at the moment. And then I do charge the premium, right? Because buying a raw, you're inheriting the risk. You don't know if it's actually going to grade officially that grade, right? And so you're inheriting the risk. It's a discount. But if I, with conviction, believe this is a 9.6 or a 9.8 and I want that value out of it, well, I have to put my money where my mouth is and make it an encapsulated 9.6 or 9.8 to extract full value. They're valuable still, but that gives them that market value.
Gotcha.
And so that actually is one of the reasons why I would grade a book, of course.
So this kind of leads us into part of the conversation that I wanted to have today, and that is about using the hobby to fund the hobby. There are a number of people, whether it be in the comic world or the card world, it's very ambidextrous actually, that are opening up product in order to sell and fund their personal collections. And then in the comic world, just as you had described, there are people who are picking up books, inheriting the risk involved with the potential condition of that book, due to their homework or whatever, and then the potential for grading it, getting a certain grade, and flipping it. This is a common practice. This is a great way of funding the hobby.
100%, 100%. And some people look at it like maybe that's a bit of a chore. Actually, I shouldn't speak for anybody. Yes, funding the hobby, people look at it different ways, right? Some people look at it, maybe it's something that has to happen, so that they could fund the hobby. For me, it's all part of the hobby. Selling, you know me, I love selling. Making a profit off of something that I'm passionately like in love with, there's nothing better to sell other than something that I can stand behind. I'm happy to own it. I'm happy to sell it as long as, there's a good reason to sell it, right? And so I love all parts of it. So for me, funding the hobby with the hobby is a very natural part of that hobby. And then reacquiring something again. Actually, in fact, I'll tell you something. I can't tell you what it is, but I'm going to tell you something.
Here we go. Here we go.
Something that I sold for. This is going to make me sound like a bit of it's cringy to talk about it, and I'm saying it with a huge smile because I love it, right? So there was something very rare that I attained, and I graded it, and then I sold it for, was it 12 or 11,000 plus 1,000 trade? I think it was 11,000 bucks plus 1,000 trade. Now, to be just, we're telling the story, so I might as well not pull any punches. My cost into that item was less than $1,000, right? The acquisition of the raw, so on and so forth, got it done. And then, now that was a private sale, so it wasn't recorded. So somebody else, somewhere else in the world, unaware of that private sale, got lucky and pulled out a childhood copy of said item, graded it, got the 9.8, didn't know the value. I reacquired the item today for less than $3,000 that I sold for $12K not too long ago. So that's another fun part of the hobby, right? The more you know.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Part of having these deep dive networks of people that we have in this hobby is the ability to find these hidden gems. Donnie, for me, is always informing me about things that I had no idea about, which is going to lead me into something we're going to talk about here in a bit. Sure. But using the hobby to fund the hobby is something that is common practice, and I love hearing the success stories. Something I have noticed in a lot of situations where people are forced to sell, they're indicating the reason that they're selling, and I think that that's a mistake.
Oh, I love what you're saying. Keep going. Yes.
And I mean this in a constructive way, and I hope this helps anyone who finds themselves in this situation. But I'll see people posting like, "Oh my gosh, I'm having some car troubles and I'm desperate. I have to sell item X, Y, and Z." And in my personal opinion, not to be a vulture, but people are looking at that scenario without the intentions of assisting you to get the highest price. If you were to just state that this is an item that's for sale, you are 1,000 times better off than implying that there is any level of desperation in the sale.
100%. If you like, listen, there are differences there. You can certainly say that and be met with people that feel sympathetic towards that and might want to take care of you, but you shouldn't approach it with the hope that everyone has that intent, because life is a negotiation. All right. And if you lead with that, you're entering a negotiation from a position of weakness. Now, you've already negotiated against yourself.
Yes,
you have to enter with at least the perception of strength if you want to actually play ball. But if that's what you want to do, I'm desperate, I need money. Listen, the vultures are coming. Okay.
Yeah. And the point of bringing this up is that in hopes that somebody who sees this that might find themselves in that situation, this is us telling you that is not the route to take.
It is a route, but not the best if you would like to get what the item could potentially get. I agree with you completely.
If you are interested in moving something in a timely manner, the method of doing that is pricing accordingly. The story involved in it is less important than pricing accordingly if you need to move something at a reasonable pace. I'm just going to leave that there. That's kind of
I could really appreciate that, because you can show that you are a motivated seller just by pricing it below market. You don't need to pull on the heartstrings if you don't need to, right? I mean, obviously anyone can do whatever they want, but you might as well just make the number reflect it rather than try to appeal to someone's emotional, whatever the word is.
I agree completely. And that was just something I was going to throw out there in the mix. Something to talk about next here. Donnie and me have been going over comic books. Me and Manu talk comic books. I had West Coast Dave Engers on to talk about comic cuts. And
I thought you meant recently. No, yes, I remember that.
No, a little while. That was actually quite a while ago now. But I had him on to talk about comic cuts. And this is something that I have been enjoying so much lately are these comic cut covers that we've been seeing as achievements. And part of me thinks about every comic book enthusiast and influencer every time I enjoy one, because I just think of everybody being so pissed that somebody cut up this book. And I've been taking so much joy in these comic cut covers lately. I've been looking at them. None of the ones I'm interested in have got achieved lately, but they're so cool. I wish I had an example to show. I don't have.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what's got you excited. I mean, I could sort of imagine, and maybe I've seen a few here and there, but I don't know, because you're saying comic cut covers, and so
Yeah.
you're indicating it's different than the traditional comic cuts that we were used to. So who's putting out those,
So
and what is that?
Fleer Ultra Wolverine has been one of the sets that I have participated in a lot recently. I
Okay.
love this set. I've been participating in it on many different levels on EPAC, the physical product, trading with friends, all sorts of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the achievements that they had was a comic cut cover, and
Mm-hmm.
it is the covers that they made all of the comic cuts for get issued as one standard item. Okay,
Oh, we're talking a big
a
thing.
full cover, right? And they're cut up into card sizes. So
Oh, they did
it's
that. Okay,
six.
okay.
They're amazing. They are
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I'm
Akin to what they did with the achievement for Spidey Metal.
bingo, absolutely.
Right, right. Now I recall. Yep.
Yeah, so that's something that I've been enjoying recently. Lots of people reach, and the reason I bring it up is that a lot of people reach out in the day to day and are like, "What are you enjoying right now? Like, what are you collecting?" And I haven't been collecting very much, but that is
Mm-hmm.
something that I have been thoroughly enjoying lately. There's been
Yeah.
so much happening. I mean, there's just such a flood of stuff that you got to pick and choose, and you take your little joys in the small things, and that's something that has definitely been going on. I will be a contrary on the covers. It's not the concept itself, but it's rather that they just use a standard grid and cut the cover arbitrarily. You are 100% right. So what Matt is saying is that portions of the cover are covered up by the border. Matt, you can correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth that you don't feel are
So
correct.
he's saying so the way I'm taking that is if you weren't forced to just have it arbitrarily exactly where the cut needs to be, like a like a cookie cutter, you would have better curated your position, right?
That's it.
So that
I think that's what Matt's saying, and I
yeah,
completely know what he's talking about.
yeah.
For me, I haven't lost any sleep over that. There are
So some of them
definitely.
suck, he's saying. He's like some of
Yeah,
those pieces of the
exactly. Some
cover
of
are
them look
crap.
like I
Yeah.
know you were hoping for that Wolverine cover, but we covered his face with the border.
Yes, you have Wolverine ear
Yeah,
and
that's
be
right.
happy with that,
100%. And I think that that's what Matt's getting at. He can correct me if I'm wrong. I'd rather see 3 single cover cut cards which are curated. You know
Oh, he
what, Matt?
used the word curated too. Matt, I didn't steal that from you. We were both on the same page. All
And
right. We
faces
were on the same
half,
cut.
yes.
Okay.
And Matt Fuller is definitely a comic cut aficionado. He has an amazing collection of them. And I
I'm sure.
appreciate what you're saying. Matt, I do think that we have reached a point where we are being we know what to expect from Upper Deck. And I am not surprised or disappointed that they were cut the way that they were, because I have set my level of expectation at a area where I'm hoping to be disappointed as little as possible. But I do know exactly what you're saying.
Why does our hobby make us do that? Why do we have to accept subpar so that we can smile? No, damn it. No.
Such is life. Such is life.
Okay, you win. You got there. You damn it, man. How am I supposed to argue with that? You're right.
There's
Shit.
nothing perfect about the hobby. There's nothing perfect about Upper Deck. And I'm just gonna have to live in this space where I have this saying at work, actually. And when I train people at work all day long on really complicated equipment. And one of the expressions I tell all of them as soon as I train them is that perfect is the enemy of good.
Oh, okay.
So perfect is the enemy of good, where there are a number of people where their expectation of things is for things to be perfect and for them to perform flawlessly. And that type of pressure interferes with things just being good, because people screw it up when they want things to be perfect, and it interferes with it possibly having just been good.
So you're saying in the pursuit of perfect, you
Yes.
may actually throw good out and not get
You
anywhere?
ruin good by hoping for
Okay.
perfect.
Got you. You're not able to appreciate good if you're
Yeah.
disappointed because it wasn't perfect, right?
Good is good enough for me most of the time. Perfect is an unrealistic fantasy. But
Yeah, perfect is and somewhere in between there is great. So you got to find that balance to get to great, maybe, right? Like, don't get so hung up on perfect. maybe work to get better than good and get to great. What are we saying here? Upper Deck. Oh,
Sorry,
Upper
I
Deck is
took it.
Upper Deck is beating us down. It's like only looking for dates at Walmart. Your expectations are going to be low. I just dates. He means the fruit. He means the dried fruit, of course.
Matt, I have a Walmart story to share with you, Matt, exactly on this topic. Recently, I destroyed a cell phone and I was in a mad panic to get a new phone, and it was late and I had to race to Walmart. And I thought to myself, what type of creatures am I going to see late at night at Walmart? Will I look for a phone? How will they be dressed? What will it be? And then I caught a glimpse of myself going through the door, and I was wearing sweatpants, cowboy boots, and a ripped t-shirt, and I was the creature at Walmart.
You were what you were hunting.
Guy, you know? So
that's actually hilarious, man. That's actually funny. I do want to take a moment to say that this card is available on eBay. The bidding is currently at $315. We have 3 days left. This is a Pop 4 1994 Gold Web Foil Venom that comes exclusively out of the jumbo boxes, PSA 10. Please do participate in the bidding. I would like this to do well. I want it to be a successful and healthy recorded comp. And that has been a message from your local newsstand. Graydon, back to you.
I am going to include the link to Mr. Manu's eBay account in the description after we are done the video, so that you can
That is quite generous.
Well, anything that you want to find on the Manu store, I will have in the link there after this video is done.
That's funny. That's funny. Man, I haven't been to Walmart in quite some time. I'm a Target guy. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go to the one that has a slightly warmer lighting. You know, I walk into Walmart and I'm just like, what the hell? I feel like I'm working in the office of nightmares. You know, like it's too bright in here, it's too big in here, the ceilings are too far above my head. I'm getting anxious.
we don't have Target up here, but for years and years and years, I used to go to New York City, and I used to go there to do art, and I used to go to Target and get a blow up inflatable mattress, and I would crash couches. And at the end of my trip, I would return the blow up mattress. And Target would always take it back. So.
Oh, I'm sure. I hear a lot of things about. I mean, we're not talking. Do you guys got Costco up there?
We got Costco. Yeah, Costco.
Costco's return policy. Everyone always talks about how great you go. 5 years later, my mattress sucks. Yeah. Bring back a mattress and stains all over it.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, you didn't ask me. Sorry. In my head, I thought you had asked me a question.
Well, no. What was the question you thought I asked you?
I thought you asked me what have I been collecting lately, and like I was formulating a sentence, but we could get to that later.
Which leads me to my next question, Manu. Mm-hmm. What is it that you have been collecting lately?
I love that. Thank you so much. No, I mean, a lot of stuff, you know, because I have been on a hiatus from grading for all the obvious reasons, right? There's just too much risk in it right now. I don't want to be met with.
You don't want to bend book. That's
dude.
The issue.
I
you don't want to bend books
to sellers. I am not shy about returning something. First of all, you guys know I'm a snob, okay? And when I ask you,
you are so not a snob.
No, dude. If I'm doing a deal with you, and one of my questions is to you, is there anything about this slab that you think I would like to know? And then you send me a slab that has a bent book in it. In what universe did you think I wouldn't want to know that?
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
sorry, can you just read this comment right here, right now?
Walmart doesn't allow air mattresses to be returned now. Blame LPM. Yeah, hashtag blame LPM. In fact, everybody hashtag blame LPM. This is going to be for a Walmart gift card of $9.99. Let's go.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me. Okay, I'm so sorry for interrupting. Please keep going. Keep going. Nobody wants a bent book. Absolutely.
No one wants a bent book. No one wants a mishandled book. No one wants a scratch slab. No one wants any of this nonsense. We want what we pay for. But regardless, so I've been on a hiatus for grading. When it's absolutely necessary, I take the risk. I haven't taken the risk in a matter of months, and it was a big risk. Fortunately, it worked out. But that doesn't mean I haven't been gathering. I'm also gathering a stack of books for when PSA is finally ready to take submissions, which is months and months out still. But the books that would have gone to CGC are going to be going to PSA. And yeah. I'm excited about that. So my hunt for the ungraded, books with high potential still very much alive and well, which is why I have 316s coming in every day. I have Newstand 300s coming in regularly, other ASM runs, but I am still purchasing graded books when I am able to feel confident about them. And if something turns in that doesn't meet my standards, I return them. I'm not a pushover in that way. And so recently I picked up a couple of really amazing things. I want to show them really quickly. And I did show them last night, but you know, our friends on this channel are different from our friends on another channel. Yeah. So I'm I'm a big Mark Jewelers guy, and there's a series of books called Marvel Tales that reprint other Marvel comic stories. But there are a lot of original art covers, and McFarlane did a lot of them. And there's one cover, it's Marvel Tales number 235, which is X-Men and Spider-Man on it, and it's amazing. And I recently picked up not just a 9.8 Newstand, but a 9.8 Mark Jewelers.
Wow.
Of Marvel Tales 235. Look at this cover.
It's beautiful.
It's McFarlane, Spidey, X-Men, all the characters. First time I've ever seen it. I could not buy it fast enough. A friend sent me a link. I was snap, had to have it. I can't wait to post this. I haven't posted it yet, but I'm happy to share that with you. So, and I've been collecting a lot of cards. I've been opening a lot of sealed product, 80s product, 90s product, those jumbo boxes that come out of, the stuff that the McFarlane rookie cards come out of, which by the way, that card has been doing extremely well. And so I've been keeping busy and more art. So I've been keeping busy buying things, putting things away. A big PSA submission is going out tomorrow. Ultimately, there's about 50 cards going out, somewhere between 30 and 50, depending on how much I dial it down. But tomorrow is going to be the primary submission. That's probably going to be 10 or 15 cards, and then slowly I'll submit more. But that's what I've been up to.
That's so exciting that you've been opening up product of cards and submitting them. What was it that kicked you back into opening product? I know that this isn't something that it's typical of Mr. Manu.
That you're right, and typically I just don't share it. But I open product here and there. I just don't share it. I do it privately. This time I decided to make stories about it. Because I can't actually identify what it was, but something got in me, and I said, hey, that rare stuff that I always let go because the boxes have gotten too expensive. It's time for me to just go ahead and shell out some bucks and buy some of these expensive boxes. Some of these boxes are over $1,000. And yes, it's a gamble, but it's also a very sort of rare experience. It's much different buying a box it's different when Upper Deck puts out a new product and the box is $700, but everybody in the world could buy it. I just kind of feel stupid buying it. And sometimes I do, but I just kind of feel stupid buying it. But when there's a product that you can't find, and that's why it's $1,000 when it shows up, well, I kind of go for those. That's cool. A different value proposition. And so that's what I've been doing lately. And I've been experiencing things that I hadn't before because I just avoided that price point, not generally all the time, but just regularly I kind of do. But these days I had that itch, and so I saw a lot of my favorite cards, a lot of the cards that I collect and love, doing extremely well on eBay in PSA 10s, including my own personal sales, surprising me the offers that I were getting, and these cards are selling so well that I thought, well, hell, I'm out of them now. I need to grade more of them. So let me track down those boxes and make that happen.
Remind us, Manu, what your eBay account name is in case anybody is on their phone right now looking.
Yeah, and I want to prep it. The eBay account name is few and far, few_and_far. But eBay, there's two things there, right? Quite frankly, that is not a destination. But if you want to keep an eye on it, you can for sure. The destination itself is basically my DM. It's my Instagram page. My stories, I share a lot of things, but many things come and go without ever being shared because the couple of dozen people that I actually have regular communication with, they're my friendly buyers. They know what's coming in, they want it, they take it. I don't even get to post it. So the connection, the relationship I have with people is where most of the distribution of everything happens. I share a lot of things in my stories. Even if it's not for sale, it's for sale. If you see something you like, let's talk about it. I sold a card for $1,100 the other day. It was not for sale. It was a picture and me gushing over it, but the gentleman wanted it. The first offer he made was $1,000. I countered. We settled at $1,150, in fact, and the card is sold. So if there's anything that I have that I'm showcasing, we can always talk about it. The eBay is where I just, sometimes I just put something up on eBay for a really expensive price and hide my Instagram name somewhere in there just to invite more people over to the page. The page is where it happens.
Nice. Yeah. I love that there's a platform that isn't with one of the corporations for you to sell on. And what I mean by that is paying fees and blah, 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 blah. It's always great when we find a way to do it that is just customer and seller doing a relationship and completing a deal.
Yeah, we actually had some hashtag blame LPM. Let's catch up with the chat.
Dude, totally. Did you see OCD here? Can't grow a beard. Hashtag blame LPM.
That's
man,
funny as hell.
I shaved this morning, but I sneezed on my way here, and this beard just popped right out of me, man.
That's all it takes sometimes, man. You had a healthy breakfast. It grows faster that way. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, let's catch up in the chat. Manu, you go through some of the people in the chat.
All right, let's see. So Donnie Boy McCoy says, I'm not going to lie, I'm a snob when it comes to comics. Man, it is, that's our lane. And I'm happy being there. And we saw OCD. Perna, what's up, my friend? He's laughing at commentary. Donnie says, I have 10 books ready for PSA. Is up and rolling. Yes. And so my stack is growing as well, man. I think we're going to have some fun. We're going to be part of the reason that they are going to, they're going to learn some things from us, right? Because we're going to grade, we're going to give them some feedback on that as well. So I look forward to being part of that process.
Yeah.
I like double covers, Mike Vine says. What up, Mike? So do I. And let me tell you something. I still in my life have never had a double cover. I've never handled one, touched one, accidentally found one, purchased one that was advertised. I'm waiting for the day that I accidentally get one or someone makes me a crazy deal on one that I think is amazing. I have never. Donnie Boy says, yes, Marvel Tales are great and Spidey Super Stories as well. Congrats on the 9.8 Manu. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Armando, what up? He says, will PSA have 10 grades or 9.8 going to be the high? No, they're going to have 9.8s, 9.9s, and 10s. What's going on, my man?
I was wondering that too. I really appreciate somebody asking that in the chat. Thank you for that Doe 6237.
Yeah, they'll have the 9.9s and 10s, and PSA loves 10s, so that's
just saying, eh?
Yeah, they wouldn't not want to have 10, certainly, and and I won't talk about something else. And then RMS answered that PSA will have 9.9s and 10s. Thank you, RMS. Perna says, was it Dolly Parton? She's magical. I don't know, but she is. And benches cleared, Yankees, Kansas City.
That's the baseball game going on right now. I have it on in the other room. I don't want to leave to go watch it because you guys are my undivided attention right now. But Mike Vines, I appreciate the update, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Casser, what up? He goes, PSA introducing 10, 10.0, and 10.00. Blame 9.9. It warms my heart. I love it.
Do you notice that the people in the group have such a great sense of humor? I find myself constantly trying not to laugh too hard on camera because I'm trying to speak as well. But the chat groups are always so funny. Like
that's why when I watch a live stream, I'm gonna say something that I don't mean to offend anybody. It's just a personal opinion. Why would anybody go live and ignore the chat?
Yes.
Like, what an annoying thing to do.
Absolutely. The chat's the best part of a live.
I say we because I'm oftentimes in chats. Just like our friends are here. When our friends go live, I love being in the chat. And one of the most frustrating things, like I take personal offense to a lot of stuff, I will admit, right? But it's like, you're live. We've taken our time to be present. We don't have to be here live. We could watch it once you're done.
Yeah, that's right.
We could watch it on the toilet tomorrow morning. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. But we're here because you're live. For you to not read a single chat is offensive, annoying. And how long do you think people are going to show up for you if you don't acknowledge them when they do? Just saying.
I think that the point of having a live show is engaging your community of friends and your audience, having people be able to be a part of it. But everybody knows the feeling of dropping a comment in the chat and then getting a response to their question. That's what builds this relationship between channel and viewer. And it's a wonderful feeling when somebody reads out your important statement, your Perna Dolly Parton comment, or whatever it may be. It's a lot of fun. For the LPM channel, we've been doing a morning show, and the morning show is always live, and it's a way of starting the day with something that isn't just the standard news. And the chat in the morning is so fun because I feel like everybody gets a chance to kind of drop how their day is starting into that chat and give it some momentum to keep going in that direction.
Exactly right. What is Mike Vine says, I pulled one back in the 90s, didn't know what I had, and the owner tried to get the book back from my LCS. He pulled one out of a short box. He was going through a short box. He said, I'll take this one. But I want to know what that was. He'll elaborate, I'm sure.
Mike, let us know. I would also like to indicate that Mike is one of our regulars in the morning. Mike is 71 years old and has definitely picked through some boxes of comics in his life. So
we could learn some things from Mike.
I always post a lot of fishing videos. I'm always on the boat fishing, and Mike worked on a salmon fishing boat in our neck of the woods out here. So I always appreciate hearing Mike's comments here.
No, I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Pulling fire. Wait, so no Walmart gift card then? My bad, I lied. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're gonna have some fun for some fun stuff to be given away and stuff. And not maybe not tonight, but tonight's more of a hangout on the farm here. But I got some stuff to show. I've been
Let's
working.
show it.
I've been working
Marvelously
steady.
sketched. What up?
Yeah, I've been. You keep running through chat. Just feel free to dive on there anytime you want. But we got Perna. I mailed you some of these. I'm gonna make myself big.
Perna
And
agrees. He said, I agree 100%, Manu. Claws out collection. Oh, I thought he agreed as well. He's saying, Matt, hello, which is also a very nice thing. And RMS agrees. Well, yeah, I mean, we like to be acknowledged when we say something. It's a nice feeling. All right,
it
let's see what you got.
absolutely is. Perna, I mailed you some of the channel sketch stock.
Whoa.
And I'm pumped to have sent them out and to have got them. And they look really, really good. I'm super pumped on them.
That does look great, but Mike is elaborate. I should have put that together because we were talking about it. He said it was a double cover Jim Lee. Jim Lee Pitt? Did Jim Lee draw Pitt? No. Was Jim Lee the artist on Pitt? Because Pitt was an Image title, and he might have been. So it was a double cover, and the owner of the LCS said, "Oh, sorry, and I'm gonna need that back." Oh, that's a shame.
Another thing that's fun in the chats is everybody saying what's up to each other, doing a little bit of a roll call, everybody hanging out.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, I'm going to show you these sketches here. I want to show you a couple things I've been working on here.
Please, please, please.
So I got sketch stock finally, and I started doing some really cool ones. This is a very cool Venom.
That's awesome.
This is what I've been spending my days on the farm doing here. I got a couple more to show you here.
Sick.
I did one here that is a Deadpool. Perna, you've been my inspiration to do sketch cards. I love your sketch cards. I love your artwork.
Perna said, Graydon, stop that? ? I think he meant ! But we'll take it.
Looking, who said that?
Perna did. It's his latest comment.
Oh, nice. Graydon, stop that. I did this Doom the other day, but just pumping out sketches.
Soberface, what's going on? A double cover is when I wear two pairs. I got to start reading before saying it out loud, but I've already committed to it. Let's see.
No, do it. Do it.
He says a double cover is when I wear two pairs of underwear at work. Are you telling me comic book artists do that too?
Soberface is always in here with the jokes. Always.
Yeah, and Soberface, thank you for hanging out with us last night. Great conversation. I mean, you're always a very welcome addition to the conversation. I always appreciate it very much. So thank you.
Retro Collect is saying that Dale Keown drew.
Yeah, it was like, so I don't think Mike actually was talking about the Pitt comic when he wrote Pitt. He was saying something else, and I just didn't understand it. Maybe that's an abbreviation for piece of trash. Wait, no, that would be pot.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense. But so yes, thank you for the clarification there. I was like, no, I don't know. But it is an Image title. At least I remembered that correctly. I love the Pitt covers.
The chat is always, the chat distracts me sometimes. Like sometimes I'll do a morning show and I'll be like, I have some stuff I'm going to talk about, and I'm like all organized, and then people in the chat will just be steady making fun of me the whole way through, and I'll get distracted. And
should we do a giveaway real quick? I'll do a giveaway just because we're talking about Pitt. Let's give away a Pitt cover.
Okay, let's do it. Absolutely.
I'll get one. All right, hold on.
Hang on. I gotta bring up a couple things here before we do that.
Okay. I'm sorry if you hear me going through books. Wait, did you leave the screen too? Did we both leave the screen?
No, I'm on here. I've just got to figure out how to do the giveaway here real quick.
I mean, this is not a valuable book or anything, but I mean, whatever. It's the nearest Pitt book I had, and it's going to go to someone for free. Why not, right? I love it. The shipping's going to be worth more than the book, but whatever. Let's give away a Pitt #2, just for the sake of Pitt. It's the closest one I had, and it is a dope cover. I mean, look at that thing.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna make this happen here. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna line this up. What do you want your hashtag to be?
Pitt, P-I-T-T. Let's go.
Okay, hang on 1 sec here, guys. I'm going to get this lined up. This is going to be the hokiest way of doing this you've ever seen, but bear with me.
This isn't even like a...
Oh, boy.
This isn't even like a... I mean, it's free, guys. That's what it is. It's a free Pitt book. Someone take it.
I'm going to have no audio for a minute while I line this up. Manu, you're in charge.
All right, let's go. All right, hello everybody. I'm in charge. Hashtag pit. Let me get my hashtag in there too, just for fun. Let's give away a pit book. So far, Perna's gonna win. This is what it is. Manu's face when that happened. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell just happened. But all right, let's see. Okay, we got the pits coming in because we love Wolverine equally. Yet, oh, this is more of the Dolly conversation. I don't. Oh, this is gonna make me finally found a double cover. Mark Jewelers, not high grade, but still so crazy that's a fun freaking find. Be honest with you there. Looking forward to getting the blanks Graydon. That's something Perna said. You might have already seen that. And want to see if we have any friends that we might have missed in the chat. Okay, the hashtags are coming in.
Okay,
Dang,
cool.
I'm
back here, so I've got it lined up.
Very nice. Oh, I didn't realize I was on this portion of the screen. I'm fine with that though. You're
in charge.
And this is in the bag and boards that I was saying no one should put books in, because I didn't put it in this bag and board. It just, it's just a book that isn't hugely valuable. But you notice the difference? You see how that is just sitting at the bottom and you can't even see the board, but 100%. This is framed at the bottom. That's very important. You want to keep your book safe. This is what you need. This is just generic whateverness.
Have we gathered up enough of these hashtags here? You want to do this giveaway?
Yeah, heck with it. Let's run it. Let's go. Someone's going to get a pit book just for fun. Read a
okay, this book. Is going to be super hokey. This will be super hokey, but here, we're going to run it. All right, ready?
Yeah, please don't make me ship this for $35 to England. It's worth $2. Oh, that's what he's doing. Nice. Good luck, everyone. Let's see what happens. And the winner is... I can't see it. What's it say? Steph? Does it say Steph? Congratulations, Steph Baltov. Congratulations.
Steph Baltov, congratulations on the win. Hit Manu up on his Insta.
Yes, hit me, DM me, please. And even if you live internationally, I just said that jokingly, I'm still going to ship it to you, of course. So just DM me on Instagram. I may not get to it immediately, but I will get to it. I'm not sure if we're connected there or not, but let's be connected, please.
I'm gonna put your name up here on the banner again, so that people know where to find you, just in case they don't know this celebrity guest that we have tonight.
And it is going to Australia, so it is going to cost me $35 to ship the $2 book.
Is it actually going to Australia?
It is going to Australia. Oh man, no good deed.
I'm so happy that it went to as far as humanly possible. Well, congratulations, Steph. That was a great giveaway to win.
We should ship Steph. We should ship you something better, okay? If we're shipping to Australia, it's fully. So I'm gonna let me get you. Let's get you something better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, here we go.
I'll figure this out in a second, but I'll ship you this too. But no, we'll send something else.
Everybody's a winner tonight. There's no way we're shipping you that. I love it.
Yeah, something else will come your way as well.
I love that you can also see in this stream how quickly the sunlight is fading here. Like the moon is up over here now, and there's a massive burn pile going in the backyard right now.
Steph Baltov, and no, Steph. I insist. I insist.
No. This is you're dealing with a pro here. You let him, Steph.
Yeah. No. My pleasure. And thank you for
Catherine
being
says Australia more expensive than Mars.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. It's crazy. And then, the other frustration, if you're shipping something, it's less nerve-wracking when you're shipping someone a gift or something. If it gets lost in shipping, that's bad, but no one has spent money on it. But when you ship something expensive international, the tracking sometimes doesn't track, or when it gets to that country, it's just I hope it gets there. And
I had a case break recently, Manu, where I did a case break and people bought spots and blah 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 blah. And one of the participants was in Australia. So when I went to the post office and I packaged up all their stuff, it gave me the option. They're like, "Oh, do you want to send it by plane or by boat?" I was like, by boat? What are you talking about? It'll get there next year.
39 days later. What is this?
What is this shipping? It will be there for Christmas 2026? What's the plan here? Oh, I thought it was so funny though. I laughed out loud when I was standing in the counter line up there trying to get this thing shipped off to Australia. But it was funny.
That's funny. Yeah, Steph, please. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that was
3
fun.
months
Thanks
by
for
boat. That's
suggesting we
right.
do a giveaway. That was fun to kind of do on the fly. What a
Yeah, it
hokey
just
way
came
of
out of
doing
nowhere.
it. So if anyone's
You
wondering, I
did
have
it
to
though. It
stream it
worked.
to my cell phone and then do a screenshot of my iPad, which I'm sitting out on the deck here using right now because I am not Steve Jobs. I have no idea how to work a computer. But
You made it happen, man. You made it happen.
that was
Um,
super fun.
oh, so yes. Oh my gosh, hold on one second.
What do you got? What's happening?
Nothing. Just wanted to make sure this wasn't like uber important. Got a couple of fun group chats going on, and there's a couple of things that I'm trying to stay ahead of. So, you know, the information comes in quickly, and if it's not super important, I don't have to take action. That's all. Marvelously sketched said ingenious, but someone might catch this reference. I thought he said disingenuous. And the reason that's so funny is if anyone saw Sticky Goose's live stream with Comic Tom, somebody here might get the reference, but I'll just leave it at that because it'd be a waste of time if you don't. But there's a YouTuber named Sticky Goose, and there is Comic Tom. And Comic Tom, well, everyone knows Comic Tom. And
Yep.
Sticky Goose did a live stream and had Comic Tom on. And Sticky Goose's plan, I'm friends with Sticky Goose and I'm friends with Comic Tom. Much respect to the both of them. I'm not picking sides. But Sticky Goose was hoping to sort of, you know, have this playful sort of beef and banter and kind of planned a few gotcha moments for Tom. Tom
And
is
the internet cut out?
well, yeah, that happened at the end after
Gosh.
Sticky, yeah, after Sticky got pretty much, you know, got it handed to him by Tom, who is a seasoned vet,
Yeah.
is no stranger to defending his position,
Yeah.
and not from a position of weakness, from a position of confidence. And he's sharp and he's well spoken and he's quick witted. And Sticky just didn't realize that that might have been what was going to happen that night. And he just caught himself flustered and a little lost. And the chat turned on him. And ultimately, he said, Tom, let's just end this, please.
The tap out.
The tap out. But I love you, Sticky. Hope you're well. You know, don't stay away for too long. I know you're going to come back stronger than ever. He's probably rethinking, reevaluating, deciding his direction. And he will be back. I know he will. And of course, shout out to Tom. Tom's doing what Tom does, being successful and being great out here.
You know, speaking of that whole circle, I recently had a guest on who is out of my my norm for having as a guest. I had Jem Mint on a little while ago.
You know, I actually saw that. You had Jem Mint on, and carry on. You were about to say, I was really happy to see that you had Jem Mint on.
Yeah, I had Steven on, and you know, I chat back and forth with Steven. Super nice guy. I followed the Gem Mint channel since he was posting stuff about 96 masterpieces, which seems like a long time ago now. Yeah. And I really enjoy that channel. And Gem Mint has a great morning show that he does with his wife. I encourage all of you guys to go check it out. His wife Faye, they're a very fun couple to watch in the mornings. And it was really interesting having Steven on the channel and getting to open up a box of cards. It was really fun, like getting to like open up a box that we were both enthusiastic about, that I'd seen him do a box break of as well, and get to kind of interact with him in a card way. But then when we started talking about comics, it became very obvious to me how little I know compared to the seasoned vets in the comic world, you know?
Oh,
and
got you. Yeah.
I was like, wow, I am way behind, way behind.
Oh, OCD. Oh, Marvel's Matt Fuller says, I got a peach cover OA from Comic Tom. He's my hero. He owns the original to a Comic Tom peach cover. That's crazy. That's dope. And you know what's interesting about Jem is, like, you know, Jem lives in a world of nostalgia. And shout out Jem, you know, and lives in a world of nostalgia as well. But when it comes to his relationship with cards, he participates, he loves them, but he does not trouble himself getting into the weeds of what this is and 1 of 1 that and out of 20 that. And I love that about him. It's so refreshing. He's like, nah, bro, I like cards from the 90s. 92 Masterpiece is my jam. Yeah, I'll rip a box of this new stuff, but I'm not taking it all that seriously, guys. And I absolutely love that.
He's definitely good at that. He has chosen his involvement level. I'm just moving the rooms here, guys. Bear with me.
It's all good. It's all good. We're here.
The set where I am definitely going to be moving rooms. Give me one. Yeah, it was cool having Jem on the channel. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, no, yeah, Jem's an OG, and you know, if I'm sure a lot of people here are familiar, like he recently went through a transition, right? And he made a video where he's very vulnerable, talking about some of the decisions that he made that didn't go the way that he planned, and he did some reflecting and realized why had some realizations, some epiphanies as to why things might have gone the way that they did. and he recalibrated and reconnected with the community. And it's one of the reasons, not to say that he wouldn't have made an appearance on your channel otherwise, but he was more in a space open to find himself available and making himself available to be on other channels. And the intent behind that, one of them, outside of the fact that he likes engaging with the community, was to reconnect with the community. You know, he found himself at a place where celebrity status, right? And kind of like talking, but not talking to people, right? And he wanted to get back to talking to people. And so he reinstated the morning show. He and his wife Fee do the morning show. He live streams playing he's a gamer, so he live streams his gaming, and he freely, openly now talks without being kind of concerned about sponsorships or reflecting poorly on who he might be, you know, on screen with. He is back to being himself unapologetically, and he finds himself in a happier place because of that. And the trajectory of his channel is back on this again, right? Rather than people feeling like he wasn't as human as he once was. He's back to being a loved human, and it was all intentional that he did that, and I'm glad that he did.
No, it was really cool. I was really pleased to have him as a guest. Perna has just reminded me of something incredibly important here. I totally forgot to put the chickens away, Perna, and I definitely have to do that after we leave here. And now it's dark out now, so it's going to be way more exciting doing it, because out here we have 400-pound cats that hang out in trees. So it is going to be a very long walk down to the chicken coop.
Wow. So you really have to do that, though? You have to go out there and wrangle some chickens?
Well, they put themselves back in the coop after dark. I'll have to go and put all the food away so the animals don't eat it, and I'll have to retop up their water and then lock them away. But it's a long walk down to the coop, and after dark, it's really sketchy because, like I said, we have massive mountain lions here. So I'll be...
And there's like a chance that you might actually encounter a mountain lion.
So last time I encountered one down there, it sniped out one of my llamas, and I actually had to address it over a couple of days. It was rather traumatic. It was quite the ordeal. So yeah.
Be safe, man. I love cats. I love big cats, but definitely be safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it live. Mike would like you to do it live. I mean, it would be do it. We got you back. We're all here. You're not alone then.
If I go down there, it will be like the Blair Witch Project. You know, the filming
Brittany,
will be about as bad as my giveaway. So
Brittany said, bring your shotgun. I hope if you bring your shotgun, you shoot it in the air to scare the cat. And if, because I don't want to see anything else happen.
You know, it's Brittany, I don't own anything that can shoot anything other than a slingshot. So I'll be down there with my Dennis the Menace slingshot, and that's about all I own.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And then Perna also says that Graydon is getting hairier every minute. This is very true. This has been the case since I was about 11 years old. And yeah.
We're going to try to gem one of these, I hope.
Oh, wow. What's your process for pre-grading? Do you have a whole setup with magnifying glasses and all of it, or what?
Yeah, I have magnifying glasses and stuff, but the process is just like being obsessively detailed and being honest with yourself about whether it actually has a shot or not, you know? Right. And that's it. I mean, yeah, sometimes, you know, things that shouldn't be 10s get 10s, but that's not what I'm aiming for. I'm not aiming to get a 10 that I have to like shamefully sell. Like, this should have been a fucking 9. This shitty centering, you know? No, I want my 10s to look like 10s. So these are both contenders for, you know, well-centered, beautiful surfaced card. And it took opening 2 boxes to get 2 contenders. And these boxes are, you know, they're not like cheap, and they're not that easy to find, the jumbo boxes, but I'm really excited about these. A low pop card. No one's ever been able to make one available to me to purchase, so I hope both of these gems so I could keep one and sell one, but definitely this is going out in tomorrow morning's submission.
How often do you send away for submissions, Manu?
Oh, dude, I haven't submitted cards in over a year, like a long time, like a long well over a year. So this is going to be my first time submitting to PSA in a long time. So I'm excited about that. But I've been gathering for a while, so I got plenty of cards to sort through. Look, but I'll tell you, I know, you know, a sports reference came up, and I don't really do sports, don't know nothing about sports, but that doesn't mean there aren't some sports cards going. Now, yes, this looks like the 86 Fleer. This is not the 86 Fleer. This is a card that came out in, I believe, 96. Yes, 96. The standard version of this card was called Ultra Decade or Decades of Excellence, and it's obviously a reprint of the 86 Fleer Jordan Rookie, right? Yeah. For all intents and purposes, it's the Jordan Rookie. There was a Jordan card that came out prior. It just wasn't from a major brand or wasn't licensed or something. It was not that it wasn't licensed, it was just distributed differently. This is the metal version. You see the foiling?
I do. I would notice that when you put it up earlier.
And it's called the Metal Decade. So
Very
this
cool.
is a 10 candidate, and that's what I'm hoping for. Knock on wood. I shouldn't actually say these things before they happen, but hopefully, guys, please let's hope this happens. And this is a 10 candidate. There are only 12 10s, and obviously Jordan cards get graded a lot. So the fact that there are only 12 10s means it's very difficult. And
Yeah.
the last one did just sell for $7,300. So I'm excited to gem this card, and I hope it happens. It would be heartbreaking if anything else happens because this is a strong gem candidate. So this is also one of the cards going out.
Is it okay if I ask where you found? Was this like a fun pickup that you found somewhere? Was this an eBay purchase? None of my business, by the way. If you don't want to.
No. I mean, I say a lot of things that I probably would be better off not saying. But at the beginning of the pandemic, I bought a rather large sport card collection, which I haven't even gone through majority of yet. I'm talking 20-something binders, crates, and everything. It was just I was on. You could make money buying anything in the beginning of the pandemic. Everything was on one of these, right? And
Right.
and the writing was kind of on the wall that this might not last forever. So just go out and be aggressive now. And I did take in a large sports card collection, and I graded a lot of those and sold them early. I graded a lot of things before PSA originally shut down during the pandemic, and got a lot of things sold. I mean, it was a different environment. Certain cards that in a PSA 8 now are worth $30, you were selling for $400, $500 at that time. And so it was a good time to be selling. And then some cards, for whatever reason, I held back. And I couldn't actually, I told RMS this the other day, I couldn't tell you why I didn't submit this card. Because if this is 7,300 now in a PSA 10, imagine what this would have been late 2021. This probably would have been a $15,000 card. And for some reason, I put it in the I don't want to sell this pile. Maybe that's why. Because where am I going to get such a clean copy again? I could grade it later. I didn't anticipate that Jordan cards would go down so much, perhaps that.
I have a friend who at one point in time owned the largest Michael Jordan collection in the world, and he sold it before the pandemic. He beats himself up about it.
Whoa, but you're not talking about Michael?
I am talking about Michael.
Yeah, he told a story once on, maybe he told it with you as well, but I heard him tell some stories like that on Elusive's podcast.
Yeah.
And I remember he was like, yeah, man, I sold a huge Jordan collection. And it's like, oh, he smiles when he tells these stories. He's not guy
big shout out to Michael. What a good guy. What a good sport.
Michael Salter, big shout out, man. I had a nice phone call with him the other day just about something. We could have DM'd about it, but I said, man, just call me. I'm not good at answering something that might be simple because I want to tell you everything about it, right? I can't just give you the one answer. I'm not that guy. I'm long-winded. So here's my number. Let's do this. Yeah. And so we had a great phone call. I really appreciate Michael.
You're one of the guests that I enjoy having on because I never feel as though the conversation doesn't go somewhere. Every conversation that we have leads to something more interesting than what we were just talking about, and it's always fun. It's there's a natural flow to things. And getting to include people in the chat and have their participation guide the conversation as well. Here we are talking about, Venom PSA 10s out of these boxes and covers that I've never heard of and a giveaway to Australia. If you'd have told me that was the plan for tonight, I'd have said, you can't even make this stuff up, right?
Right. No, and I mean there's a lot of credit for that. Much of the credit for that goes to you because you're open to so many different directions in a conversation, right? I'm not met with when I'm speaking to you, I'm not met with this look on your face, like, why are you saying that? You get it, you could body language, you get a feel for if I'm saying something, I'm looking at you and it's like, I'll stop talking then. I don't get that from you, so I keep on fucking talking.
Something I like the channel to be is I like everybody to find, maybe not everything is for you, but you find something that's for you. On this channel, I hope that you get to take something away that you feel personal about. And it doesn't have to be everything. I hope you find something that is it,
I'm backtracking a little bit. Marvelously sketched that a sandal will do the job, and I think that's about you don't have a shotgun, but just
there was all types of weapon suggestions going on in the chat there. I stopped putting them.
That's why it says pitchfork. That's why it says Perna said
crossbow. Yeah. Steph, who won the giveaway in Australia, says, rub it in, Graydon. I feel bad. Don't feel bad. We're glad you live at the beach in Australia. I hope you're doing great.
Perna says, Manu, what's that big spot on that card? Stop it. I will tell you, I will show you one that really disappointed. Well, it is what it is. You know, it's a risk. I'll show you one real quick. Holy cow, I didn't mean to kick that.
You know, Steph, something I want to bring up with the Australia shipping is that when you're shipping between Commonwealth countries, the pricing is all the same, actually. It is more expensive for me to ship something to Manu than it is for me to ship something to you in Australia, for the record. We got 31 people in the chat still going here. This is great.
Shout out, guys. So, sick card.
Oh.
Pop 2 in a gem mint. Pop 2. So, I pulled this card. I'm excited. And then, whoa, can you not see it on the screen? Because it's very obvious in person.
I didn't see nothing.
There's a dimple on the card.
Oh.
Right above his shoulder. Holy cow. I can't even see it on the screen. It's oh, there it is. You can see it. You could kind of see that thing.
I can't, but I'll need to take your word for it.
Yeah, sorry, guys. That was a terrible presentation, but there is no point in sending this. I mean, like, as soon as you look at it, you're like, what the hell? So that's a wrap for this one. You know, nice try. Maybe it gets an 8 with that dimple or something, but there's no point in grading it as an 8. Well, there's one reason that you might grade it as an 8, because people do like to buy graded cards. There's like, you know, you get the verification of the grade, and it being added to the census as an 8 actually makes it a more valuable proposition for the 10, right? The more non-10s to be added, the better the 10 looks in relation. So, but I'm still just not going to send it. And I don't want it to get mixed up in the wrong pile. Be back again.
I love that we're sorting as we go here. This is the channel where we're just sorting collections, curating on the fly. You know, it's lots of fun.
Matt says, those are amazing. Yeah, I love that. RMS says, I can flatten that out. Cough, cough. We'll just pretend that message didn't hit the chat. And all of a sudden, all of his cert numbers are going to be voided by PSA.
Look at Pulling Fire's comment. I think dimples are cute. I love that. That is so funny.
Who said that? Pulling Fire said
Pulling Fire.
That. Yeah, that was my reaction when I pulled it too. How cute. The fucking thing. The one card I'm really, really looking for.
Oh my God.
There it is.
That's funny.
Holy shit. You know.
That's so funny.
But nah, it's super dope. It makes me happy. And then I picked one of these up because I thought it was the red one. There's only 110 of this card, the 94 Carnage hologram. There's like 40 something 9s, maybe 30 something, but only 110. And you could see that when you shift it in a certain direction, it's red. So when I saw the picture of it, I thought it was a full red. It's not the seller's fault. The seller used the PSA scan. I mean, maybe there was a benefit to using the PSA scan because it looked full red, but he put it up for a very reasonable price. Like, it looked like that, right? And then I got it home and I was like, oh man, it's just a regular green one. You know, there are greens that don't turn red, but I think there's some reds out there that are just like straight red orange. And that's like the rare one. So I would love to get this in a straight red orange. But I do have a PSA 9 in case anyone would like to buy this off me. You just have to pay me $10 more than I paid for it so I can get out of it. That would cover the cost of shipping. Thank you.
Hit him up on the old Instagram there. You guys know.
Yeah, this is not on eBay. There's a bunch of stuff that's not on eBay. Like hundreds of things are not on eBay. Just hit me up.
Yeah, all of the dogs just started growling at the same time, which is not lending any confidence to the fact there is not a 400-pound cat in the tree.
Dude, I'm a little scared for you. All right, Ryan, if you really take it, just hit me up. You know, you even know what I paid for it, so you just hit me up. RMS, of course. And Donnie Boy McCoy says, Manu, in your opinion, what's the hardest Mark jewelers to find regardless of the grade? Well, I don't look for all of them, so I can't answer it in, you know, the overall way. Out of the ones that I look for, ASM 252s are quite difficult to find.
For anyone who's new to the channel, can you please mention to them what a Mark jeweler is in case they're wondering?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so sorry. So in comic books, you have direct editions and newsstand editions. And I don't have any directs to give you an example of for obvious reasons because, you know, I'm a snob and I like newsstands. I mean, there's directs around here, of course. But so a newsstand generally, this is not a rule of thumb. This is generally speaking. There are some books. Oh, I do have an example that I can show you of the other kind. So I'll start with the more complicated version. This has a barcode, but it says direct edition. There's also a newsstand version of this book that has a barcode. The barcode is shaped differently. The top bank of bars has a different sort of number of lines, and it won't say direct edition. That's how you'll know there's a newsstand. The newsstand of this book in a high grade. Oh my goodness, I tell you, it's a tough one to find. So In a book like this, though, more of your late 80s, early 90s sort of, Marvel comic books, in a direct edition, which means it went to comic book stores and it was likely put into a bag and board and cared for by a collector, this would have additional art. This would have a McFarlane silhouette of Venom's face, or an image of Venom's face in this particular book. The Newstand has the barcode. Newstand means it was distributed at newsstands, at pharmacies, at Barnes and Nobles. It was exposed. People were handling them. If they didn't sell store covers would be ripped off. The covers would be ripped off by the store owners, and they would be shipped back for the refund. So fewer of them survived, fewer of them were distributed, and fewer of them survive in high grade now. So they have a premium. Now, the most rare version of a Newstand is a Mark Jewelers. And what a Mark Jewelers is, I'm not going to open this. Oh, this is not the Mark Jewelers. I'm sorry. I do have Mark Jewelers, but this is just a Newstand. Inside this book of a Mark Jewelers, there's a jewelry ad in the center. And the jewelry ad comes in many different colors. In this book, it's red, but they come in blue, purple, whatever. And sometimes you could actually identify them through a strip up here. There's another way to identify them, but it's like a trade secret that I know and I don't tell anybody because it's really my advantage. I haven't told anybody. And one person I told, and I regret telling them. I should have done that. I should have kept it to myself completely. So I'm not telling anyone else. But Mark Jewelers, why do they come with such a big premium? I'm talking about a huge premium. You know, when we're talking about this book in a 9.8 right now, current market being like maybe $1,400, maybe 1,000, something like that. Mark Jewelers would be 5 times that, 6 times that, if not 10 times that, depending on the buyer, depending on the day, depending on how badly and how long that person has been looking for it. High grade Mark Jewelers have a huge premium for key books. Mark Jewelers were jewelry ads in newsstands distributed exclusively at military bases. That's the key. It took me a while to get there, but that's the key. Because when you talk about surviving in high grade, at a military base, come on now. Soldiers enjoying their comic books as their break from what's happening, and then storing them in a locker, in a shoebox, under a bed, what have you. They were exclusively distributed. They went all over the world. They traveled with people that were serving, and they were only from military bases. All newsstands Mark Jewelers are all newsstands, but distributed at military bases with a jewelry ad. Now, why would you put a jewelry ad in this book? There's some sayings about it. There's some stories, but it's more like when some of these soldiers, and I don't know how to reference everything military related properly, so forgive me if I sound ignorant or say something offensive. I'm just trying to describe something, but it's not a world that I'm super familiar with. But the story is like when some of these young people would come back, you know, from serving, right? They might want to propose to their girlfriend or something like that. So get them thinking about this jewelry, right? And that's why those jewelry ads were intentionally distributed at military bases. It's one of the
I 100% feel that. I mean, I work in a business that's away. I work on an oil rig, and there are lots of jewelry stands, and they are not trying to sell men grills. They're trying to sell you engagement rings, and that makes perfect sense, you know.
Yeah, so there might be some truth to that. And I didn't make that up; it's just something someone told me. But Mark Jewelers are very scarce and high grade, and key books have a huge premium. Like when we talk about the 252, when I discovered the CGC scandal in December, it was an ASM, Amazing Spider-Man 252, first appearance of Black Suit Spider-Man, which there's 3 books tied for that, but ASM 252 is the most renowned one for it. And there was a Mark Jewelers 9.8 that sold. It sold for $16,000 at auction on eBay. And I noticed that it was not a 9.8, and that was already concerning. And then I noticed that it was previously that cert number was a standard 9.8 newsstand because I had a picture of it, and it didn't match the book that it now sold encapsulated as a Mark Jewelers. And the story that the guy told me was a complete lie. I did some digging. I found out what the scam was. So this guy sold a $2,000 book for $16,000. Now, that's a different story. The reason I tell that story is to say a 9.6 newsstand of that book at that time was a 9.8 newsstand of that book at that time was $2,000. The 9.8 Mark Jewelers sold for $16,000. That's 8x. Wow. That's the premium rare key books get in high grade Mark Jewelers. Now, if you have an 8.5 newsstand and you have an 8.5 Mark Jewelers, you're not going to get that kind of premium. You might get double the value, but you ain't getting that kind of premium. Maybe 50%.
I appreciate the explanation for everybody here about, knowing the difference between these types of books. If I find that like within our hobby, there's always people that know so much, but people who are watching, there's always someone in the group that kind of feels as though they don't want to ask. They don't want to, you know what I mean? They don't want to be the one to be like, oh, what's that? They feel self-conscious about it. So I appreciate you explaining it to everybody.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to encourage the questions. Oftentimes friends will post something and I'm not familiar with it, right? And there is for a half second, I do have that egotistical thought of not wanting to expose that I don't know. So I for just a half second, there's this silly sense just for a half second that says, Manu, don't ask this question. But the part of me that wins is the part that says, actually, it's a better look for anybody to be comfortable saying that they don't know and
Right.
asking the question, because it shows humility. It shows something that's more respectable than pretending you know or not admitting that you don't. And also, when you ask that question, you allow the opportunity for another individual to be strengthened in the ability to tell you that. Like, you put them in a position to feel good about answering your question. Like, it's
Right.
a win-win to ask. Now you've learned, and you look like a decent human being because you weren't afraid to say you don't know about it, and you let somebody else feel good about giving you the information. So why the fuck wouldn't you ask?
Humility is an outfit that looks good on everybody. I think that
Ooh,
we,
what a nice way to put that.
yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
These chickens are getting scared out there. So we're going to kind of get close to wrapping up our conversation tonight because we'll have Manu on again and we'll get to do all of this over. But Manu, what should we end on? Let's leave the people feeling good about the weekend coming up here. You've got graded cards coming out. You're working on all sorts of fun stuff. What are you doing this weekend just for you? What are you doing for Manu?
Oh gosh, just for me?
Just for you. What's your thing on the weekend that is your little ritual that's just selfish, just for you activity?
It's kind of just for me, but then I'm going to share it eventually. I'm going to be photographing a lot of the new things that have come in. That's very meditative for me, like therapeutic for me.
Love it.
And it'll be at least one day, a full day of like sort of just photographing, preparing things that I might want to post later, be it feed posts, be it story posts, things like that, and just having those pictures ready. Because when I put something away, I still have a catalog of photos for when I want to share it, even if the item gets put away. So that's going to be my me time. But to leave like our friends, I can't believe we've been going 80 something minutes. I didn't realize that. I do talk a lot. But just to leave on an even more positive note, one of the things that I would just like to share with the community is that my community on Instagram is a very mixed community, but it's predominantly because of what it was built on. The foundation was more comic books and cards. Like if you look at my first post, it's comics and cards.
Yeah.
But but I was entering into a community that was more, by far more robust for comic books than it was for cards, right? And the card community has grown nicely since, and it continues to. But one of the things that I do want to say is, and I've been feeling great about this, is I share a lot of cards on my stories. And a lot of the people in my stories are comic book folks. But I tell you, the curiosity is being piqued, the questions are being asked. And that is a huge positive indicator for the future growth in this community, right? There are new people coming into collecting in general, but there's old school collectors that kind of don't think about cards are thinking about them, and I love that.
I love that. That's a great thing. That's a wonderful thing to do for yourself on the weekend. I think it's great finding some type of therapeutic thing to do that involves your collection. It's just
Yes.
for you. It's just a little
Yeah.
bit of fun. For myself on the weekend, I'm going to be getting getting the farm here ready for the winter. So today I started pressure washing all of the walkways and redoing all of the wood and putting down grit material so that no elderly people that are here over the winter end up slipping on the ice. That's going to be my feel good activity for the weekend.
I love it.
And I'll be doing farm chores all weekend long, and I'll have live streams for you guys galore. It'll be
Awesome.
good.
Awesome, my man. Awesome.
All right.
Hey, thank you for having me, my friend. I appreciate it.
I feel like this was a great little Thursday hangout. Like, I feel like you came over for dinner. We had drinks. We shared a bottle of wine. We had a beer. We talked. We smoked a cigar. We chilled. It was good.
This is what happened. This is exactly what happened.
All right, that's great. And everyone in the chat, thanks so much for being in here. Brittany is very concerned about the chickens. She wants me to get to them before the cats do. And they appreciate your concern as well, because we're down to 5 of them. So I'm definitely going to have to go wrangle those up.
Good
The
luck.
Card Collector Show, thanks for being here. And everybody, let's remember the hashtag don't blame LPM that Castra is throwing out here. Again, my apologies if you can't grow a beard or if you have been ruined by Walmart recently. This was super fun. And Manu, again, a huge thank you for you being here.
Thank you, my man.
You're one of my favorite people to have on the channel. I relate with you on so many different things. I'm always amazed at the range that privately we talk about, whether it be Bitcoin, swing trading.
Yes, we got to talk more about that. Yeah,
like just the ridiculous amount of things that we talk about. But it's always fun having friends with such a wide range of interests.
Man, I appreciate you, man, and likewise, I feel the same about you.
Okay, you take care. You have a great weekend. Everybody in the chat, hope your weekend starts out great. I know tomorrow's Friday and some of you guys are going to work, but you guys be good, and we'll catch up again real soon. Everybody, take care.
Be well, everyone.